much for coming on, Anastasia.
Thank you for having me.
If for anyone that doesn't know you, because I know you already, you are an amazing leathersmith. Is that the correct terminology?
Yeah,
Leather
you
artist.
can say that.
You make awesome bags and leather goods, and you're just refinishing furniture now.
Yes.
You are like multi-talented,
Aw.
artistic. You take advantage of that creative spark, and I've seen you apply it to lots of different stuff in your life.
Yeah, I think if you're you might
You're
have
good.
to redo that.
No, you're good.
You're good?
No editing here.
Awesome. Yeah, I think if you're a creative in general by nature, it
Mhm.
comes out in every area.
Everything you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it has to come out somewhere.
Yeah.
So if you're taking a break for one thing, you might jump into another thing and it
Yeah.
always comes out somehow.
And as a preface for those who don't know about your story and the fact that you did not get born in America,
Oh, yeah.
just as so everyone knows where you're coming from, tell me, well, I already know, but tell them a little bit about
Yeah.
your history.
I'm adopted from
Yeah.
Russia. I was adopted at a very old age into an
Old
American
age.
family. Well, I was a full-blown teenager. I was
Really?
14 and a half,
Oh,
basically.
yeah.
So it was a big change.
No
Didn't
kidding.
know English, went straight to high school kind of thing. It was hard, but people ask me, "How long did it take you to learn English?" I'm like, "I have no idea. I don't remember that time." It was such a
Wow.
big
Whirlwind.
change. Yeah, your
Yeah.
brain kind of shuts down and then you're just in survival mode.
Yeah.
I basically don't remember like a full year.
Wow.
Every once in a while, I'll have a memory pop up or somebody reminds me of a memory, but
Yeah.
nope. I just
Holy
remember
crap.
random things.
Yeah.
Don't remember how I started speaking at all. It
Mm,
just sort of happens.
just around everybody, kind
When
of
you're
picking it up.
submerged in it, it just happens.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
that's kind of the best case scenario, I guess.
Yeah. So if you ever want to learn a language, just
Just
go to
go
that
there.
country and stay there.
Yeah.
Don't leave.
Don't buy a return ticket so you can't
Don't
leave.
leave.
Yeah.
And don't talk to anybody in English. Just
Yeah.
do your best to speak the native language.
Do you still speak Russian at all?
That's a hard question to answer. I think so.
Yeah.
I don't have anybody to speak to.
Really?
That's the issue. I mean, I do technically, but I
Yeah.
just don't practice it enough to really know for sure. I definitely am not fluent anymore.
Anymore?
Yeah,
Wow.
'cause,
Yeah.
language kind of has its own, I don't know how to put it.
Yeah.
You have slang.
Yeah.
And as a 14-year-old, you have a certain vocabulary.
Oh, true.
You
Yeah.
don't
You don't
have
have an
it
adult
all the way
vocabulary.
developed.
Yeah.
So the words and the phrases I remember might not be what they use today.
Yeah.
Or as an adult, they probably don't speak that way.
Because you have a brother that was adopted into your family as well.
Mhm.
Do you speak Russian with him at all?
He doesn't remember any Russian.
None at all.
Yeah,
Wow.
this is going back to the brain being so wild.
Yeah.
We shut off at a certain point when the brain is in danger, I think.
Yeah.
It senses danger or something is very different.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't even understand it when somebody's speaking it.
That's crazy.
I can still understand. If I watch a movie and there's like a Russian
Mm-hmm.
bad guy or,
Yeah. Yeah.
usually Russian or Italian.
Yeah. Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
I can pick out what they're saying and totally get it, but not Jacob.
That's
He's
so
like, "Mm-mm,
interesting.
mm-mm."
I know we had kind of talked at one point on Instagram about how Americans in particular can forget how good we have it here and how free we are
Yeah.
in comparison to literally the rest of the world,
Yeah.
especially a place like, I think we were talking specifically about North Korea, but I think of Russia right along with that as well.
Yeah. And look what's happening now.
I know. Is there any part of you that ever thinks what life would have been like if you would have stayed in Russia?
Oof. Yeah, I occasionally think about it, but it's depressing.
And no kidding. Yeah.
It's like, it is a scary thought, honestly,
Yeah.
because I mean, although I have some friends there and I consider some people family still there,
Mhm.
I don't really envy their lifestyle.
Yeah.
I think it's a dangerous time to
Hmm.
live there. It's a
No
very
kidding.
scary time.
Yeah.
There's no, and social media only outputs so much, and
Mm.
there's so much control happening in the government
Yeah.
that you don't know if the social media is controlled and what
Hmm.
you're seeing is really true.
Yeah.
They don't know. We
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
We have no way of really knowing.
Yeah. Unless you really have someone that's living there that you're close to. I mean, how would you?
But
And
they
they
don't know.
wouldn't.
They don't
Yeah.
know. That's the thing. They're so brainwashed.
Phew.
Everything is so completely controlled.
Yeah. Do you ever like talk to people here that may be talking about like talking down about America or this, that, and the other,
Oh,
and you go,
yeah. I try not to say anything, but it definitely crosses my mind all the time.
yeah,
I see it on social media constantly.
yeah,
Instagram,
yes,
that's like
yeah,
the cesspool of
it is.
everything, I
That's a
feel
great
like.
way to put it. Yeah.
I just want to say, why don't you pack a bag,
Yes.
and if you work remote, go work remote in a different country.
Hmm.
Pick one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Any country.
See
Even
how
a
that
country that
goes.
you admire.
Yeah.
Go
Even
to
places like Italy,
go
like,
to France. Go
yeah.
to Italy.
Mm,
Try it out.
mm.
See how that goes for you.
No, and it's hard because I try to catch myself before that comes out of my mouth and check my privilege because I mean it is. We are the most free, most wealthy country in the entire world.
Country of the free.
Yeah, and we can forget that so easily and get caught
Yeah.
up in whatever is popular in the social
I
narrative.
think it's natural.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
so natural to just be like, oh, I had a
This
bad
is so
day.
hard. Yeah.
Oh, something's happening in the politics that I don't know anything about.
Uh-huh.
Really, I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
truly, do you?
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
somebody could be so driven about a certain topic and completely forget that there is another side.
Yes, it
The
happens
flip
all the
coin.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we forget not only are there two sides to each of these things, no matter what the issue is, there's also the fact that we are completely blind to what
So
war
blind.
looks like in this country, really.
And how much money it takes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. How
So
much money does
we
a
don't
country
know.
make?
Yeah, like we are just blind to because like our poverty in America is nothing
Oh,
compared to
yeah.
the rest of the world.
I know.
Our poverty here is affluent in other countries.
Right.
And we lose sight of the fact that there are places where people make $1, $2 a day.
Yeah.
And that's how they survive and they live.
Yeah. And what's happening with crypto right now?
Oh my, I don't
Can we
even.
talk about
Oh
that?
my God.
I don't understand crypto
I don't
really,
either.
but I've asked like 3 or 4 people now,
Yeah.
like, what's going on? It's scary.
Yeah.
It's honestly pretty scary what's going to happen.
And I think that kind of goes back to like keeping your eyes on what is constant and like what reality is. Not to say like don't get into crypto because it's not safe or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But we have to remember that like this is again like a privilege thing. Like to worry
Yeah.
about crypto when other countries are worried about if a bomb's gonna get dropped on their house at
I
night.
know.
Like, yeah, you can still worry about crypto, but like to release your anxiety over
Yeah.
that type of stuff and be like, dude, I'm not fearing for my life all the time. I have a roof over my head.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be okay.
Right. It's like, did you have a bad day or
Yeah.
is your life really bad?
Exactly.
Or is it just a moment?
perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just take a breath.
Yeah.
Relax.
Exactly.
See the other side and listen.
Yeah.
Listen without speaking out.
That's a hard
It's
skill.
hard. So hard.
It's a really
Why
hard
is it
skill.
so hard? Because if you have a strong opinion on something,
Oh yeah.
it's like immediate, like, oh,
Yeah.
I already have a response ready.
And you're not even listening to the other
No,
person.
you're ready with the response right away because you already know what you're going to say.
Yeah.
You're not listening.
And you cut yourself off from learning
Of
when you do
course.
that and having empathy for the other person.
Yeah.
That's what I try to like foster on here is intentionally bring on people that I may not agree with on certain topics.
Yeah.
I had a podcast a couple of weeks ago where I talked to someone about gun reform and gun control. And we both sit on opposite sides of that thought process. And
Yeah.
it is so important to have those actual
Yeah.
conversations and not just a battle of points.
Right.
Like, oh, well, you think that? Well, here's what I think that's going to make that
Because
seem
my
invalid.
opinion is more important than
Yeah,
yours.
no, it's all an opinion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Exactly.
most things come down to truly like what's right for you and your life
Mhm.
and what do you believe? And just because someone doesn't agree with that doesn't mean that they're a terrible human being or
Yeah.
they're wrong. That means that's good for them.
Right. That's their upbringing.
Yeah,
That's what they're
exactly.
safe doing.
That's their belief system. And
Yeah.
far be it for me to tell you to believe differently. But I think having those conversations where you get exposed to the
Mhm.
other side, even if it doesn't change your mind, because I don't think that it should every time, but it helps you to understand other people better and be like, oh, that's why you believe that.
Of course. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's so important, like you said. If you don't listen to the other side, how are you ever going to be firm in your beliefs?
How do you know that
Ever.
what you believe is really what you
Yeah.
believe?
Up until I was literally probably late 20s, I had
Mm.
such a firm belief
Yeah,
of something,
me too.
and I was so like heels in the ground.
Uh-huh.
Can't change my mind.
Yep.
I know this is me. This
Mhm.
is how I'm going to live my life.
Yep.
Nothing can change it.
Yep.
Whoa.
Fast forward.
Whoa. How much can change
Your
if you
30s are crazy.
just go
Yeah.
through some shit?
Yeah.
Just live some life.
Right.
Oh, perspectives change all the time.
Yeah. And I
All the
think they
time.
should, because
Yeah.
as you grow, your thoughts on things, I think, should change or at least open up a little.
Yeah. Well, you're
Yeah.
becoming into your adulthood, and as you're doing that, you might have never thought about certain things before.
Yeah,
a
you just
certain
weren't
way.
in that stage of life.
Just like literally the thing that I said earlier, did you have a bad day or is your life terrible?
Yeah.
Like, are you the same thing? Literally the best thing I think I ever heard someone say, and this was my mom that said it, and this was years ago. I remember it so vividly. I think about it almost on a daily basis.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And she probably doesn't even know this.
We got to
Hi,
send
Mom.
this to her.
Yeah. She said, I was in the kitchen, and I think I was in high school, and I was in the kitchen just complaining. I was just, this person, really showed their true colors today. Yeah, I just really know that person is not a good person now. They showed their true colors. She just looked at me and she said, did they show their true colors or did they just have a bad day? I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Changed everything for me.
Yeah, it puts empathy back into the equation.
Everything, yeah.
Because you never know what someone's going through.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I was so selfish back then. So selfish of me to think, oh, that person mistreated me. They're a bad person.
Right? Yeah.
Maybe they mistreated you because they were having a bad day.
Yeah.
Somebody probably mistreated them.
Yes.
And they just did it in return. Maybe it wasn't even intentional.
Yeah, for me, I don't ever feel like it's personal. I used to. I used to
It's
think they were
hard not
doing it
to.
to me. Yeah. But it's not. I mean, it's all about how they were raised, what's going on at home, what their relationships look
Yeah.
like.
Oh
And
my
then they're
gosh,
just
yeah.
taking that out on you.
How about the childhood?
Oh, yeah.
What kind of life did they live?
Mhm.
How did that affect them today?
Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean, the inner child.
Ooh, yeah. That's a whole episode too. Yeah, like if you don't ever take care of the hurts that you received as a kid, whatever they are,
Yeah.
you can never be like a fully formed version of yourself as an adult
Yeah.
because you're going to keep acting like a child.
I don't think we ever become our full versions.
It's like a
I don't really-
aspiration.
It's a goal, right? But I think we better ourselves.
You hope.
Yeah, we can. We have the power.
Yes.
Only we do.
Yeah. You got to do it
Nobody
for
else
yourself.
can better you.
Mhm.
Only you can do that. So if you take the time and put in the work,
It will happen. I mean, I
Yeah.
think both of us are examples of that. And having a difficult childhood, you do get a certain set of skills from that as well. Like, yeah, there's so many negatives that come along with it, but you get strength and resiliency and self-sufficiency.
Mhm.
And I try to look at that part. I try to look at the sunny side
Yeah.
of that.
Because if you don't, then you're focused on the negative.
Yeah.
Negative thoughts form you.
Yeah, and I
They
can't
shape
change any
you.
of that stuff.
Yeah.
Like I need to deal with it and heal from it.
Yeah.
and move on.
And why would you want to change it? Because how cool are you today?
Right?
Right?
Like, you have to have a
Hi.
shitty childhood to be a chill person, I feel like.
Is that where we're at now?
That's not like a hard and fast rule, but
I mean,
I have found it.
100% true.
Yeah.
100%. It's like when you meet somebody and you're like,
Yeah.
are we vibing?
How fucked up are you?
Tell me about your trauma.
Yeah.
Tell me about your childhood.
It's true, though.
What were the, turbulent moments in your
Yeah.
life?
What kind of adversity have you faced?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it does build character.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you be a different person. And as long as you're aware enough to heal from that,
Yeah.
I think that it makes you the best version of yourself.
But also not to say anything bad about people who, have had
Oh,
amazing
yeah.
childhoods, who
Good
have
for you.
stayed
Yeah.
put in one household
I
and
just can't even.
have never moved
Yeah.
or, didn't have to change high schools or schools in general.
Yeah, that's like I think about Luke because
That's
that was his
amazing.
childhood, and he's
I
so
literally
well adjusted.
envy that. I envy that so much in
Yeah.
people. I literally meet people sometimes. They're like, "Oh yeah, my friend so and so. I've known her since I was 2." I'm like,
and I'm like, what?
"How?
I know.
How?"
Yeah, Luke's friends, he's known them since like some like elementary, middle school.
It's amazing.
And it just blows my mind. I'm
I
like,
know.
I don't even know what that looks like. You know?
I can't feel that because I don't understand it.
Mm-mm.
It's a feeling I'll never have.
Yeah. But there is a like, because I can get in my head about that. But I also think he won't ever know what it's like to overcome some of the things that I went through.
Oh yeah.
And that's what makes me
Yeah.
the type of person that I am. I definitely have a more dysfunctional way of dealing with things.
Well,
But
dysfunctional or not, it's
yeah,
it's a beautiful balance.
it is.
You-
Yeah.
You got to have some balance in your life. You got to have some people of all sorts.
Yes.
If you don't, then you're living under a rock.
Yeah, and that just
Go out
goes
and get
back.
your friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Get some friends.
Yeah.
Go anywhere. Go to the grocery store, stand in line.
Ooh.
If you see someone that looks cool, that's
Yes.
maybe your age sort of, and
Yeah.
compliment them.
Yes.
Like, hey,
it's
your hair's so
important.
cool.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah. Because, I feel like that is a responsibility for women in general as well. Like, if you see something, say something. Because I think all the time, like,
Oh
I
my
like her
gosh.
outfit or her hair.
I was literally speaking this out loud in the
Yeah.
car on the way here.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, oh my gosh. I think that needs to be said more.
It does.
If you see someone
Yeah.
and you think in your head a positive thought about them,
Yeah.
you don't have to know that person.
Yeah. Tell them.
Compliment them.
Yeah.
You don't have any idea what that person is going through that day.
Yep.
You could just have made their whole life.
Yeah.
They might never forget that moment.
Exactly. It's so important, especially with females in the way that we stereotypically treat each other.
Yeah, there's
to
a stigma.
yeah, and to like work your way out of that, that's healing for you and it's healing for that other woman as well to know that a woman looked at her and saw an equal and not someone that was lesser than or greater than.
Competitive,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Not competing.
No, this
There's
is
no
life. Like, what are
competition.
we winning? You know what I mean?
Yeah. What are you competing for?
Yeah, there's enough of everything, whether it's attention or followers or money to go around to
But
everyone.
there is not a single another Janae.
No.
You know?
I mean, if there is, I don't know if me and her would get along. But no, there are unique spots cut out for everybody.
Yeah.
And you just have to find where your niche is. I mean, truly what makes your heart light up and
Yeah.
follow that.
Yeah.
Cuz it's important to get in touch with that. Cuz if
Mhm.
not, you're just kind of doing whatever.
But I mean, when you say that, it's hard to pinpoint what it is that really fires you up
Oh yeah.
also.
Yeah, you
And
have to
some
think
other
about it.
Yeah. Some other really good advice I received was if there were no obstacles tomorrow,
Mhm.
like zero, no money issues, no, stress issues, no family issues, no friendship issues, what would you be doing?
Yeah.
Like, what sets your heart on fire?
Yeah.
What is the passion?
Mhm.
It can be anything.
Yeah.
You could be sitting there journaling,
Yep.
or you could be reading a book,
Yep.
or maybe you're interested in art.
Yeah.
Maybe
Maybe
you
you're
can start
skydiving. Who
painting.
knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally any hobby that you can think of, any
Mhm.
little thing that brings you joy. Maybe you love dogs or animals in
Yeah.
general. Hey, ask your neighbor to pet sit
Yes. Yes. Like
or
it's
something.
that easy.
Yeah.
And it doesn't like I think people kind of get obsessed about what it looks like from the outside in and what other people think,
Oh,
which I mean that's a
oh,
human condition.
you just, that's a,
But take that out of the equation.
yeah.
Kind of like you're saying, like remove everyone else's
Remove the
judgment.
obstacles. Yeah.
Yeah, like do the weird thing that you like. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like who
Yeah.
cares if someone else finds value in it?
Yeah.
It's not for them. It's for
Mhm.
you.
Yeah.
But
And
that's
it
hard.
might not bring you money, It
Exactly.
might not be a money making
Yeah.
machine, but does it make you happy?
Yeah, does it make your life more full
Or are
to
you
do it?
serving? That could
Yes.
so much bring you so much joy.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
go volunteer.
Yeah. No, I just did an episode on that too because I think that that is kind of the piece that gets left out. We start with okay, what do you want to do? What sets your world on fire?
Mhm.
And that's a good place to start because it gets your
Mhm.
brain going. But we leave out that piece of service. And I
Oh,
think
yeah.
that without that, your life will never be as full as it can be.
No, we're here to serve
Yes.
others.
Yes.
Literally.
Yeah.
We are not selfish beings.
Yeah.
We are supposed to serve others.
Mhm.
And once you figure that out, once you really unlock that in yourself,
Yeah.
dude, it's like the sky's the limit.
Yes.
Because not only did you just unlock that you're not here for yourself,
Mm-hmm.
you also unlocked the I'm going to help someone.
Yes. And that's like a spiritual thing too. Like that is how like for me
Oh,
energy moves in the universe.
I
You know
just
what I
got
mean?
goosebumps.
Yeah, it's so important because not only is that like the best joy that I get,
The purest form.
but the other people that I'm getting to help, like that continues on. Like they feel that from me, hopefully, and then they get that spark and they pass that on to somebody
Yeah,
else.
it's contagious.
Yeah. You
Dude,
hope anyway.
when you
Yeah.
pass good energy, yeah, every time, it
Yeah.
always goes around and it always comes back,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Famous phrase, what goes around comes around. I
But
mean,
it's true.
it is.
It's true. But you have to do the work. Like we have to take that up.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, like no one can make you a better person. You have to do it yourself. Like no one can be selfless for you. You have to learn how to be selfless.
Sometimes, though, it does take a push.
Oh yeah. Oh,
You
for
know, like
sure.
you can't decide for yourself sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, you
To
might
be
have a
like,
mirror held up to you, like,
yeah.
"Hey, bitch, you need
But
to
you have
like."
to be ready for it.
Yeah, you still have to be accepting
How
and
many
willing.
times did I fight that mirror?
Mm,
How many times did I have,
yeah.
just awful fights with my friends or
Mhm.
my family?
Yeah.
Would they be like, "You're acting like a complete bee."
Yeah.
And I'd be
Yeah.
like, "Well,
Maybe
I'll
it's
just
you.
exit then." I'm not going to do any work on myself because you're
Absolutely
unhappy
not.
with me right now.
Yeah.
I'm not ready.
Mhm.
I'm a total selfish
Yeah.
selfish bee
Yeah, yeah.
right now. So I'm going to go do me
Mhm.
and forget you.
Yep.
But
Yep.
it takes some maturity
Oh, a lot of it.
to realize that, hey, maybe the problem is me.
Yeah. But I think people get scared of that because that seems like it's going to be so much weight or that's a lot of responsibility. But if you're the problem, that means you're also the solution.
Everybody is the
Yeah.
solution.
Like if you're the problem, you get the power back to
Yeah.
change it. You don't have to
Girl.
just be beholden to the situation or life
Yeah.
or your friends or whatever. You can be different whenever
Yeah.
you want.
Yeah. There's like this thing going around right now. I think also, let's go back to social media for a second.
Mm.
So, a couple weeks back, maybe a little bit longer, I think maybe 3 weeks ago, I was like, I'm going to delete all social media. I'm not going to be on it. It's toxic. It's
Uh-huh.
not serving me. I was like, why do I think that?
Yeah.
What's my algorithm doing?
Mm. Mhm.
Dude, it was so simple.
Yeah.
All I did was change my algorithm. I changed what I was watching
Yes.
or looking at
Yep.
or liking or
Mhm.
following.
Yep.
And just like that, in literally a few days, now my feed is full of positive,
Ah,
videos, TED Talks, this or
yeah.
that. I mean, it's constant education now.
Yeah. You're in
I'm
control.
using it. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
using it for to benefit me
Mhm.
instead of
It
I'm
using you.
jealous of this person because they have more than me, or
Yes.
maybe they're doing better than me. What am I
Mhm.
doing wrong? I was beating myself up.
Yeah. No
Once
reason.
you, yeah, once you just delete that,
Yep.
social media can be so great.
It can. You just have to be, and I think that's the problem is people aren't aware that they're getting used
Oh, yeah.
because if you feel less than and you're like aspiring to be like these other people, you're going to be on that app so much more.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be like, "Oh, I need to
Oh,
figure out what
you
they're
become
doing."
so addicted to it. It's
Yes.
insane. The
Mhm.
brain is insane what
Yeah.
it does.
Yeah, and they know what they're doing. Like
Oh.
Instagram knows what it's doing.
Hmm.
You have to be
We're on to you,
careful.
Instagram.
Yes, seriously, cuz
Don't fool us.
it's rough and I think that I try to talk about that a lot on here cuz that's an
Hmm.
issue that I had cuz it is
Hmm.
addictive. It's made to be addictive
Yeah,
cuz
of
that's the whole
course.
point.
It's
They're
what
making money
makes
off
them
you.
money. It's
Yep.
a business. What
Yeah,
else?
why not? Why wouldn't they do that?
Yeah.
As a smart business, they need to make money, so they're going to make it to where they can make the most money possible. And they have succeeded.
What makes the most money? Unhealthy people.
Yes. Yep. Sick
Sickness.
people, people that are feeling less than and they can buy the next new thing to make them feel
Mm-hmm.
better.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a vicious cycle.
Sickness makes money.
It does. It
Yeah.
really does. And then it makes you want a life that's not
Mm.
for you.
Mm.
Like, that's not for you.
I
Even if you
know.
think you want it, maybe you think you
Totally
want to be
takes
a
you off
jet
your path.
setter. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're like, I want to go, I wish I was her and going to a different country
I
every
know.
week.
And you're seeing a snippet of
Yes.
somebody's best moment
Yep.
of the best day. They're on vacation,
Mhm.
right? They bought that outfit,
Yep.
waiting to wear it.
Uh-huh.
They put a full face of makeup on. They did their hair,
Yep.
and they took a million pictures.
Yep.
And they picked that one
Yep.
and
And that's like
posted it.
what,
And
10
that's
minutes of
what
their
you
day?
think
Yeah.
is their daily life.
Yep. And
Wrong.
if you're not happy in your house, you're not going to be happy in Bermuda. You know what I
No.
mean? Like, cuz
Yeah.
you're still going to be there with
Oh,
you.
yeah. Girl,
You
inner
have to
work does
change.
not stop.
No, and well, I think for some people it does. I
Mm.
think that, and I know that you've had experience with like being in relationships with people who are not willing to do that work. And I mean,
Yeah.
I get it. I've been there. We've both been there.
Mhm.
You're not ready till you're ready.
Some people are never.
Some people are never ready.
Yeah.
And I think that accepting that as well gives you a lot of freedom.
Yeah.
Because then you just know you're like, no, this is them, and I'm lowering my expectations to who they've shown me to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The best thing you can do is set boundaries.
Ooh,
That
that's
took me
hard too.
33 years to figure out. Like, I've heard it over and over,
Mhm.
but I never really knew what that meant.
Oh yeah.
Never.
I don't think
Until I
most
had
people
to
know what it
put it
means.
to use.
Yeah.
Until you have to put it to use. I mean, there are relationships that are just, they kind of grow apart. There's
Yeah.
really no drama. It just kind of happens. And
Yeah.
that's fine. But then there's relationships that will completely destroy you.
Yeah.
Destroy you.
Mhm.
And you have to pick up the pieces
Yeah.
and be like, whoa, who am I?
Yeah, because
Who
you
am
lose
I?
yourself.
Completely lose yourself.
Yeah.
You try to pick up the best pieces and put them back together
Yeah.
like Humpty Dumpty. And it's then you set those boundaries and
Mhm.
that person is like, whoa.
Yeah.
And that makes them want you more,
Yes.
which is like,
could be good, could be bad. Yeah.
it's usually bad. But it's the most amazing thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
Set those boundaries and I stuck to them.
Yeah, that's the hard part. Anyone can set a boundary, but then
Sticking to
yeah,
it.
holding that person accountable when they cross it,
Oh yeah.
that's where the rubber meets the road and you really have to be like,
Mhm.
am I about this or am I not?
Am I being mean or is this really just me setting a boundary?
Yeah,
That's
is this
also kind of
normal?
I think people that are good people at heart have a hard time doing that because it
Yeah.
could be perceived as you being mean, right?
They're worried.
Are
Yep.
you mean or are you just taking care of yourself
Yeah.
and your energy? You're
Mhm.
not going to give your good energy to a person that's taking advantage of you.
Yeah.
They're going to just take it until you're empty.
Yep.
And then you explode
Exactly.
because
And then
you're
you're actually
empty.
mean.
And then they're like,
Yeah.
what? You're such a bad person. Why
Uh-huh.
did you explode on me? Oh, how the tables turn.
I know, I know.
Such
Yeah.
an interesting concept.
Yeah, and it's hard to wrap your head around all that stuff, especially when you're in it,
Oh God, you don't see
because
it.
you're blind,
You don't see it. If you're
Yeah.
in love,
Oh,
if you
yeah.
love the person, you always see the best in them. Always.
Because you see their potential.
Yeah.
And you
You
want to help them.
romanticize. You build this whole life in your head
Yep.
and you literally build this person in your mind.
Yeah, who doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist.
Yep.
He does not exist.
No,
or
and that's
she.
hard
Mm-hmm.
to realize that too. I mean, you have to mourn the loss of like this
yeah.
human that isn't a real human.
See, once you like see it though for good,
You hope.
you
Yeah.
really just it opens up so many opportunities down the road.
Oh, for sure.
Because I think back now, I'm like, why did it take me so long?
It takes what it takes.
I took so many tries.
Yeah.
You keep trying, but some people, like you said, just they don't want to change.
No, and
They're comfortable.
yeah.
Comfort.
comfortable.
How our brains are hardwired for comfort.
To seek it, to luxuriate in it,
Mhm.
I mean, it's do anything
Mhm.
to avoid the hard thing.
And then again, too, like ending a relationship, you're then thinking, am I going to be lonely?
Oh, yeah.
Companionship goes
Mhm.
out the window with that person. And that's the part you miss, really. I mean, you
Yeah.
miss saying good night, good morning,
Mhm.
making coffee for them or whatever, the little things,
Yeah.
right? It's not really even the big stuff. It's
Yeah.
all the little things. Companionship is what we crave.
Yes, and I think that we lose the potential to have that in a community setting because we don't live communally anymore. We live
Yes.
online. We talk to our friends
Oh.
online, and that's it. And that's all we
Girl.
ever talk to them.
That's crazy.
And then we fall into that trap of
Mhm.
getting, I should say, all of that energy that we need, that companionship from one person instead of the whole community that we have, which is
Yeah.
how humans are wired to be.
Yeah.
Because no one person can give you everything you need, period. You need family,
Dude.
chosen or blood. You need friends.
Mhm.
You need a partner potentially, but you should be able to do it without that partner.
You should be full.
Mm-hmm.
Your cup
Before
should
then.
be full.
Yep.
Before entering that relationship,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And I think everybody knows that.
Yeah.
Deep down, somewhere, somehow they've heard it. They've
Yeah.
probably seen it. They've heard someone say it. They've seen it
Yeah.
on social media. We have to be happy
First.
first.
Yeah. But it's easy to say, well, I'm not happy. They will make me happy. Because again, that's the easier way.
Such a
Yeah,
trap.
it is.
Such a cycle.
It is. And
take
you
yourself
will
on.
just continue with that. And I see it, especially with women, because I am a woman. So that's the experience there.
Mhm.
But I mean, I was also the negative person in a relationship
Oh,
plenty of times.
So was I. Who wasn't, right? I mean,
and I look back and
nobody's an angel.
oh yeah, we're all just angels.
We all
the
mess up.
time.
I'm perfect. I don't know what you're talking
I mean,
about.
we thought we were perfect.
Of
you
course.
know? And
We thought
they
our
were the
opinion
problem.
didn't stink, right?
Mhm.
It's my way or the highway.
Yep.
And you're in the wrong if you X, Y, and Z.
Exactly.
If you have a difference of opinion,
Yeah.
this
Get out.
relationship is
Yeah.
over.
And it is that thing, like, until you are okay with yourself, until you've done the work on you to be
Yeah.
happy without anything else, like to be happy making yourself coffee in the morning.
Being alone in general.
Ooh,
Let's talk
and
about that.
yes, because that's so
Living
difficult.
with yourself.
Mhm.
That has been such a battle for me. Recently, I've had a change where I've moved
Yeah.
and I've had to be alone.
Yeah.
And that was like, I was so scared.
Mm.
I was so freaking, I've never been alone.
Yeah.
I've never lived alone. I've never been alone. I've always had someone there.
Mm.
I'm quick to move in with a
Yeah.
boyfriend.
Yeah.
And it's not, I just hate being alone.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, how is it going to be living alone?
Mhm.
It's going to suck. I'm going to be so scared all the time. And then the thoughts start to creep in. It's like,
Yeah.
what if I fall and crack my head open?
Oh,
Nobody's going to
yeah.
find me
It's
for
all
weeks.
that fear.
It's all
Yeah.
fear.
Yeah.
Once you sit with your fear and you dig to why you're afraid of it.
Yes.
What's really causing that fear?
Childhood trauma.
Hello, I was abandoned.
Yeah.
Ding, 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 right?
Yep.
It's like abandonment is my biggest thing.
Yeah.
Huge for me.
Yeah.
I mean, to this day.
And only you can heal that, which is like
Yeah.
the kicker.
And what's the opposite
Opposite.
opposite side of that?
Yeah.
Self-love.
Yep. Yep. Which is
Dude,
hard.
it's crushing.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I gotta love myself.
Uh-huh.
Do I love myself?
Uh-huh. In the morning when you're brushing your teeth and you look crazy and your breath stinks,
Oh.
like you have to love yourself.
Yeah, I know.
Then, you know what I mean? On your worst days. Do you love yourself? Do you love the core of who you are?
Self-talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Self-talk, inner talk.
Mhm.
So freaking important.
Yeah.
Didn't know that until what, like 2 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've started to like self-talk.
Yeah.
My inner voice, I think everybody has it, right?
Mhm.
Actually, there's been kind
There
of
are
like a
some people that don't.
Yes. That's crazy to me.
Me too.
You're a crazy person.
I have anxiety,
you
so
don't
I
have
can't imagine a
self-talk-
quiet brain.
How?
Like, what the fuck is that?
How? Like meditating to me is like how? Like will you meditate?
so difficult.
Explain.
It's so okay. So broadly, it's kind of the same thing as self-talk. Like I will be in my head and I'll be thinking about my grocery list or this thing I did in 5th grade or whatever.
Yeah.
And I see that thought come in and I go, no. And I let it go.
But what do you think about?
Nothing.
How?
So it's not like I think that the issue that I see people run into with meditation, because it's what I ran into, is people think you should try to not think, which is impossible. That's
It's
an
impossible.
oxymoron. Yeah.
When I think of the word think, I picture it as a
Yes.
written typed word.
Yeah.
My brain is so visual. I
Same.
cannot stop that.
Yeah. So if you tell yourself, don't think, you're going to think.
Right. Don't think about an elephant.
Yeah. Don't. It's so.
Hello.
Yeah. So instead of telling yourself to not think and to like clear your brain, don't do that. It's just you sit with your thoughts. And the second that you realize you're thinking about something because you drift into an obsession about one thing, or you're talking to yourself about another thing, or you're talking to yourself about, I can't meditate, this is too hard.
Mhm.
You see that thought because I'm visual. I see that
I see
thought.
it too.
And then I let it go. I say no in my brain, and then I watch it float away.
Do you picture like an
Over and
empty
over.
room?
Not really. I kind of just picture like a breeze or
That's what I picture.
outdoors or, like that kind of. I have to fill it with something. I
Yeah.
can't just have a blank
No,
canvas.
it's not just empty.
Uh-uh.
Okay, good. Because
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
there's no way.
No.
No way. Because people are like, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
you just tune everything out. I'm like,
No,
what?
I think that's the confusion. I think that we missed the mark on that, or at least when I was told, or what I've seen
Yeah.
about meditation is like the monk on the mountaintop that's
Right.
thinking about nothing. That's not how it works. You're thinking about lots of stuff, but you're teaching yourself how to just let those thoughts go instead of holding on to them and obsessing
Interesting.
about it. So you start thinking about something, and I do this even when I'm not meditating. If I see myself grumbling about something in my
Yeah.
brain, I'll go, no.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, I'll turn on some music, or I'll say, that's not for me,
Mhm.
or that's not reality.
Music helps.
Oh, yeah, for
Like,
sure.
for instance, Shavasana. If you've
Oh,
ever done
yeah.
yoga, you know how at the end you do your full 2 minutes of just
Yeah,
laying
chilling.
still.
Yeah. And your mind's running a mile a minute,
you're supposed to
but
in
you're
that
chilling.
moment
Yeah.
let all the thoughts go.
Yeah, that's the thing.
right?
It's not don't think.
Yeah.
It's let them go.
Yeah.
Let go of your hold on those thoughts, or whatever you're obsessing about, or your worries, or your lists, or
Ooh.
whatever.
How do you do that?
I know. It literally, it's just you see it and you go, not right now. And you let it float away.
I'm gonna have to try that. I mean, I do a similar thing where it's like I
Yeah.
picture myself laying in the field
Yeah.
and tall grass.
Yeah, and just listening to the wind. That's a sound that I try to go back to because I sleep with a white noise machine as well.
Same one as mine, and
Yes.
you got me on to
Dude,
yours. I
isn't
love the
it-
dome.
It's so good. I will put a link
Love
in
the
this
dome.
episode.
Get
'cause
you a
it's
dome.
So good.
It's amazing.
So good. And my I will give credit. My mom's side of the family is who started me on it. You go to any of their houses, every room, every bedroom
Really?
has one. Yes, because if you want to sleep,
Soothing.
oh, it's
like a
so good.
baby.
It is. My
You feel
therapist
like
has
a
one in her
baby.
office too.
Yeah,
I was
it's
like,
so soothing.
oh.
Even while you're talking.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's for like privacy since the waiting room's right
Mm.
outside the door.
True.
Yeah. It's it is this thing where it's not the absence of thought. Meditation is not the absence of thought. Like, yeah, that's like the ideal is you
I
want to
thought
get to
that's
the
what it
point
was.
where
That's
you're not
crazy.
obsessing,
Yeah.
but it's saying, I'm going to let the thoughts come through and I'm going to let them pass right on by. And I'm not going to hold on to it. I'm not going to grab it and chew on it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go, oh, yep. Oh, there's another one. And just let it
That's
go.
insane. I gotta do this.
And I don't meditate very long. That's the other misconception. People
Oh,
think you need to do it like 30 minutes, an hour, or whatever.
how long do you do it?
Sometimes it's 5 minutes, and that's all I've got.
5 minutes is a long ass time.
It is. It used to be 30 seconds. So,
Well, you're graduating. Yeah.
yeah.
You gotta.
It's slowly like, how long can you go, nope, that's not for me. Keep your eyes closed, not be like, oh, I need to move on to the next thing. It's just, even if it's just a,
Yeah.
that's a meditation in and of
Yeah.
itself. That's meditating.
And how about when you're going through a hard time?
Mhm.
Those deep. Why do we take deep breaths? Really, scientifically,
Yeah,
think about
it's
it.
a nervous system thing.
You're entering more oxygen to
Yeah.
your brain,
Yeah.
which then releases certain chemicals and it's able to process thought better.
Yep.
You're not, you know,
Going crazy.
Yeah.
Being a crazy person.
yeah, deep breaths. Deep breaths. Literally, sometimes that's all it takes.
It is. And I want more people to feel like they can do it because it is that thing. It's kind of like social media. You see or you hear the word meditation and you go, oh, that's too hard or that's not for
Oh,
me.
it's for yogis or this or that.
Or
yeah.
monks or
Yeah.
whatever, or that person might can do it.
Stigmatizing that
Yeah.
type of person. Yeah.
But it can be very chill.
yeah.
Like it can be just a deep breath. And just the more that you do that, the easier it gets. Well, if you take one deep breath, maybe next time you do it before you get into a tizzy. Like you're always working towards just doing it a little bit sooner, not freaking out quite as much, or
Gosh.
recognizing like, hey, I am freaking out about something that I don't need to freak out about.
Do you remember your first moment of having a freak out moment and then taking your power back?
Oh my God. I mean, it probably wasn't till sobriety. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably like 6 months into it. And I'm trying to remember the exact scenario. And this is like very niche, I guess. Like, unless you're in recovery, you might not have experienced this. But I used to lie about where I was all the time because that's how I could drink. And, you have to hide it, manipulate. And I remember Luke, my phone was still on silent from going to a meeting, and I had coffee afterwards with another lady after the meeting, and I forgot to turn my ringer back on, and he had called me and I didn't answer. And then he had called me again and I didn't answer, and he texted me and I didn't answer. So his mind is thinking this bitch is drunk again. You know what I mean? Which he has every right to think that because that was how it used to be. And I picked up the phone and I saw them all, and my stomach dropped out, and I was like, oh my God, what have I done? He's going to be so mad. I've done all this stuff wrong or whatever. And then I was like, no, I didn't do anything wrong. Like, it's going to be okay. I can call him and be like, hey, sorry, I didn't have my ringer on.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what his reaction is to that, as long as I know that I
It's
didn't
the
do anything
truth.
wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was the first time, I think.
So liberating.
Oh
It's
my
so
God.
liberating.
Yeah.
Not lying.
Ooh.
First of all, not lying to yourself.
Yes.
That's where it starts.
Delusion.
You
Yeah.
start lying to yourself.
Mhm.
Oh, I can have this. If
can
you're
have
on the
one.
journey,
Yeah.
say it's a fitness journey,
Yeah.
right? Oh, I can have this piece of cheesecake. And tomorrow, I'll
have
just
another
not
one.
have one. I'll work out extra hard tomorrow.
Sure.
Don't lie to yourself.
No.
You're not going to stop. If you start
Mm-mm.
eating that cheesecake
Yeah.
today,
Yeah.
right? And you're on a fitness journey, you have a goal.
Yeah.
What's going to happen tomorrow? You're not going to work out extra hard. Maybe you will. I don't know. Maybe there's some
Maybe.
people out there like that. I have no clue. I don't have that
I
kind of
don't have that
self-control.
willpower.
I don't. I have to be held accountable
Same. Yeah.
every single day. Like literally right now, a friend of mine was like, just call me anytime you want to eat something bad.
Yeah.
Literally, it could be 2 in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then now we have this joke, about me running to the fridge at 2 in the morning.
I mean, it's happened to the best of us.
I'm trying so hard to not eat junk. That's my biggest thing. It's like
yeah,
snacking
a better
constantly.
option.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, same.
But if you stop lying to yourself, whoa.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if somebody is attacking you and they're saying this or that, or you made me feel this way or that
Mhm.
way, and you were honestly in
Yeah.
your deepest truth, you were honest with yourself and
Mhm.
you acted from within, and it happened to hurt that person,
Yeah.
they can't hurt you back.
Yeah. Yeah.
All you can do is then say, I'm sorry I hurt you.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it really didn't come from a bad
Yeah.
place.
That was not my
Yeah.
intention. Yeah.
But if you're lying to yourself, you're going to go
You're
in
gonna get in an argument.
defense,
Yeah.
instantly.
Yep.
Well, you
You
last
did
year
this.
did this to me, you deserve it.
Yeah. And that's kind of the key of all of this, and like the base of this conversation is like you have to be with you. Like that's that's going to be the constant in your life forever. You can't break up with yourself. You have
No.
to deal with you every morning,
Yeah.
every day, every night for the rest of your life.
That's how,
Like you have to work
Girl.
on that relationship. Like that's the most important one.
I saw this video about, I want to hear your opinion on this.
Oh.
Do you believe, I don't know your experience with narcissists. Have you had any people in your life?
Maybe I've looked at a couple different articles and heard other people's stories. I don't, not to the extent that they would be clinically diagnosed or anything. No, but
Ooh, can you get clinically diagnosed for
oh
narcissism?
yeah,
I
oh,
did
yeah.
not know this.
Mhm.
Holy cow.
Psychologists
So
and
it's a
psychiatrists.
disorder.
Oh yeah, it's a mental
Ooh.
disorder.
Can you be cured from that?
It seems like there's differing opinions on that.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
Like, I want to hear what you think about that.
Yeah, it's the thing that I see is literally what we're talking about. Can they get to a point where they realize that they're not living in reality and they're lying to
Yes.
themselves?
Lying to themselves.
Yeah. Because if they
And they
can't see
believe
that,
it.
yes, if they can't
That's the
see
hardest
that,
thing.
they'll be that way forever.
Yeah. How
Yeah.
do you hold the mirror?
You don't. I mean, like it's like with everything we've been talking about, you have to choose to do it. They have to choose to do it.
Yeah.
And there's nothing you can do. Like truly there really isn't. You can be there for them if they ever want to, if they need help or whatever. I'm speaking more of like someone in recovery, I guess, rather than
Right.
narcissism, but you can be the best version of yourself and hope that they see that and want to better themselves, but you can't hold on to that expectation.
Oh, yeah.
You have to be the better version of you. That's the only thing you can do.
Yeah. I feel like, in my experience, all that person's going to keep doing is just taking advantage of your kindness.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Because you're going to be like, oh, I'm just going to treat them with kindness. What you have to do is cut them out.
Yeah. No, seriously. You have to keep setting
Sadly,
boundaries.
It's
Yeah.
so sad
It
because
is.
you just cannot even be friends with a person like that.
No. And I think that, again, like until you know yourself and what you will put up with or not put up with,
Yeah.
you'll just keep having people like that in your life
Oof.
because you're an easy target.
Oh, well, they prey on nice
Yeah,
people because
uh-huh.
that's what they want to see in the mirror.
Yeah.
You know the phrase, the person you're with is a reflection of you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Guess what? They feel so bad about themselves. They know
Yeah.
the crappy person that's inside, all the things that they did wrong, and there's so much guilt.
Yeah.
I should take it back. I shouldn't say they're a crappy person. That's a wrong thing to say.
They are unaware of their actions.
That's my judgment.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But, there's so much guilt
yeah.
in them
Yeah.
that they cannot face.
Yeah.
And that shame, they can't face it.
Yep.
They will do anything to avoid that shame.
Yep. Yeah.
Therefore, they'll pick a partner and create this persona for them. That's such a, I'm such a good person. I do all these things. I'm so driven. I'm so this. I'm so that.
Yeah.
And all of their friends, the friends that in the circle might believe that. They really truly believe that person is this way, what
Yeah.
they put out.
Yeah.
Not only until you've been with that person, day in, day out for a
Mm.
certain X amount of time, do you really start to
You really
see,
see it.
oh, well, that's a lie.
Mm.
You catch small things at first, and you're
Yeah.
like, well, maybe it was just a coincidence, You give them
Maybe
a break.
they forgot. Maybe
Yeah,
whatever.
just brush it off. Happens again.
Yeah.
Happens again. It's a pattern,
Yep.
right? Once you recognize that pattern, you're like,
Mm-hmm.
something's not right here.
Yeah.
When you start to try to have a conversation with that person about the problem, right,
Mm.
that you've discovered,
Mhm.
oh, it's like
Yeah.
they're done with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's immediate.
Mhm.
It is attack, attack, attack. It's your fault.
Yeah.
Why are you so dramatic that you have to talk
Oh,
about these
yeah.
topics?
Mhm.
Oh, they put so much guilt back on you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a deflection. It means that they don't have to be wrong.
Oh,
And they
yeah.
don't have to admit what they've done, and totally get that. That's the crux of the problem for everyone, no matter what they're dealing with that they're trying to run away from.
Yeah.
Whether it's narcissism, whether it's alcoholism and addiction, whether it's just they don't like themselves. I mean,
They don't.
that's how it comes out.
And I so want them to.
I know.
It's like,
Yeah.
how can I show you that you can be a good person?
By you being the best version of
but
yourself.
they don't see it. They
doesn't
see
matter.
me being good.
Yeah, it doesn't
And
matter.
they're like, come over here. I'm
Yeah.
going to have you on my arm
yeah.
and show everyone how cool I am because I'm with you, right?
Yeah.
But they don't really feel that.
No, and that is the only thing you can do is it's attraction
Yeah.
rather than saying you need to do this. Is you be the best version of you. You love yourself. You be a better person. And you just have to hope that one day they see it and go, "Oh crap, like I'm not doing anything," and they are. Like what a great thing to aspire to.
Yeah.
And if they don't, that's on them. You know?
It is, but oof.
You can't
we can't
we
save
can't do
people.
anything. You can save yourself and that's it.
I have to remind myself all the time. I have this like chronic
Mm.
thing about me that I want to help and I want to fix
Now I will
anything and
say
everything.
the word help, being helpful, is just the positive side of control.
Ooh.
Because you can say that it's coming from a good place, and most of the time that it is. Like truly, like when I want to help someone, I
Dude.
mean it. Like I care about them.
You just blew my mind.
But it's control.
Say that again.
Being helpful is the sunny side of control.
Holy shit.
Because it is. You want them to be what you want them to be, instead of accepting them for who they are and then making your decision for your life based on that.
You just blew my mind.
It's hard. It's so hard.
It's so true.
And you can
I'd
only be
never
helpful if they
seen that.
ask you for help too. Like, unless they ask you, you're just being controlling.
You just ruined my day.
Sorry.
You just changed my whole life. Thanks. Dude, I've never thought of
It
that.
got told to me, and I was
Being
like, well, fuck.
helpful is the sunny side of control.
It is.
I've had control issues my whole life.
Oh, same.
My whole
Yeah.
life.
I think most people that had a shaky childhood do.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Because we had to control our surroundings or
What
we could get
else?
hurt.
Yeah, what
You know?
else? That's
Yeah.
why we're empaths.
Mhm.
You know, that word gets thrown around all the time, and
Mhm.
but I don't think people understand really truly what it is
Yeah.
and why empaths feel so bad a lot of the
Deeply,
time
yeah.
and so deeply.
Mhm.
We walk into a room, you know, most people, oh, you know, have a good time. They talk to people and they
Yeah.
pick up on the good vibes. If you've had a traumatic childhood
Mhm.
where you've had to protect yourself,
Yeah.
right? You pinpoint anything that's dangerous.
Yeah, it's a
in the
survival
room.
skill.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then once you find that, you
Yeah.
hone in on that and you want to control it so it doesn't hurt you.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Yeah.
You walk into and today as an adult, we still do it. It's a
Mhm.
coping mechanism, right?
Yeah.
We walk into a room, the first thing, I'm not going to notice the good vibes or this or that. You know, my instant thought is like, what's going on that's wrong?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and it's
Mhm.
so messed up, but that's where my brain goes.
Yeah, and it makes us miss out on the joy of life.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a very difficult thing for me to like really grasp
Yeah.
because I want to find like what's wrong.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
what's really going on? What's
Yeah.
wrong? Instead of just enjoying,
Uh-huh.
right?
Yeah.
Letting go and enjoying, I'm like, something's
Let me
gotta be up.
obsess. Let me
Yeah.
what can I worry
Yeah.
about?
Tell me something that happened to you that was bad,
Yeah.
right? So we can obsess about it.
Because that's easier. Because I think, and this is something that most people that I've talked to with childhood issues have the same thing, is we don't know how to just be happy.
Oh, but that's such a
It's so foreign.
bullshit thing to say too.
I
Like, just be
know.
happy. Okay.
Yeah.
Just make $1 million tomorrow. Okay, just grow hair on your nose.
Uh-huh.
You know, like
people that haven't struggled with that or haven't had, like, aren't scared. Because for me, I will say, like, I used to be scared of being happy. because it used to get taken away from me.
Oh gosh.
So like the second I would get happy, I'd be like, oh fuck, what's gonna happen
It's
now?
gonna go away.
Yeah.
And you wait that moment.
Yeah, like who's gonna take it away from me? When's
Yeah.
the other shoe gonna drop? Like when is this gonna
Mhm.
stop being good? So then we don't get to enjoy being happy.
But how did you change that?
A long series of about 6 years now of intense inner work and lots of therapy.
And giving it to God.
Yeah, I mean truly, because I can't worry about that kind of stuff
Yeah.
because there's nothing I can do about it. I
No.
can't control what's going to happen. I can't control the outcome of situations.
Yeah.
I just have to say I did the best that I could with this situation and I just have to let it go. And I don't do that
But just
perfectly.
being happy in general,
Yeah,
what
like
brings
enjoying
people
it.
happiness? You might have a miserable life.
You
You
might.
might be in a miserable relationship right
Yes.
now,
Yep.
or you might have an abusive
Yeah.
partner,
Or financial struggles, or you have
or
to
your
be happy to
kids
be
are sucking
alive.
the life out of you,
Yeah. Or someone's
something.
sick,
You're
like,
unable to feel happiness.
Mhm.
What do you do in those moments? You
Yeah.
have to give it to a higher
Oh,
power.
for sure.
The only way,
Yeah.
the only way to find true happiness within
Mhm.
is to not think about yourself, but to give it up,
Yes. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And
Just,
then find someone else to help.
yeah,
Yeah.
we're just shells,
We are.
right?
Yeah.
Like these bodies are not us.
This is
Not even my
nothing.
personality is me,
No.
right?
Who you are is like the way that I look at it is who you really are is the person that lives in your head when you're quiet by yourself. That's who you really are.
Ooh.
It's not who you show other people when you
just
interact with
touched a
them.
nerve there.
And that's hard. That puts not pressure, but I try to look at the positive side. That gives you the opportunity to truly make changes at the core of your being. Because
Right.
you can go be by yourself at any time to work on that. You just
And
have to be willing to
you
do
have to
it.
talk to yourself,
Mhm.
right? Your inner voice going back full circle
Yep.
again. That
Yep.
damn inner voice.
Yeah.
Control what you say to yourself.
Yes.
Be
Yeah.
kind.
Mm-hmm.
That's the
Yeah.
craziest thing I think I've ever experienced in my life personally. Doing all this inner work,
Mhm.
becoming an adult, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Trying to be an adult.
Trying to become better, and just doing what I can to understand myself,
Yeah.
understand my trauma, understand why certain triggers are triggers.
Yeah.
That's important.
Yeah.
But also, the way I talk to myself in the past in my head, and I never knew this
Mhm.
until it was brought to my attention, that what you say to you
Mm.
in your head is what becomes true.
Yes.
If you're
Yeah.
constantly saying, oh, I feel like shit because, I didn't
I
do
didn't
this
or,
today.
Mhm.
Or, I dropped the ball on doing the dishes, and you're just constantly like nagging at yourself for doing this or not doing that.
Yep.
Change it.
Yeah.
And if the thought comes to your mind,
Yep.
just be like,
Just no, not today.
instead of saying, I didn't do the damn dishes today, say, I got to go outside and walk my dogs.
Yeah. 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 And
It's
I get to do
amazing.
them now.
And then literally you create a path in your brain that's just like, oh, now this is where we go.
Mm-hmm.
When a bad thought comes to mind, this is where we go.
Yeah. Like
Instead
we're
of
in
constantly
control.
just attacking. It's
Yeah.
like, okay.
You have to interrupt that thought. You
And
have to
it's
interrupt
so
it.
hard to do that.
Mhm.
It's so hard because we're so like self-judgy.
Yeah.
all the
And go,
time.
go.
Yeah.
Like we don't ever stop to think about what we're telling to ourselves. Some people don't even realize they're doing that.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It took me 32 years. It's been the last maybe year that I've actually realized
Yeah.
what I was doing this whole time.
Mm.
32 years of negative self-talk.
Yeah. Think about how many people are in their like 60s, 70s, 80s.
Have never thought
Have
of it.
never thought about it.
I
Like we're
know.
lucky. We've
And this is
gotten it
where
this
I
late
go-
in the game.
I go back to the internet being such a powerful source.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, of
Yeah.
the good and the bad. But
Mhm.
if you use it for good,
Yeah.
you can change your life.
Yeah, it can give you, I think that's the caveat that I would love to add is it can give you the spark
Yeah.
to know, oh, I've never thought about it that way before, or
No.
I should work on myself in this way.
Yeah.
But then you have to put it down and go do it.
And do it.
Yeah.
Instead of living out someone else's life.
Yeah, instead of just being like, oh, I love that quote, or oh, I love what they said. Because then you only think about it for a second and then you're on to the next
Yeah.
story or the next post.
Yeah.
You have to be like, oh, I love what they said. Let me go journal about that.
Oh, I'm so visual. I have to
Yeah.
write it down.
Yeah.
Girl, yeah.
I know. Yeah.
It's like if I don't write it, it
Yep.
leaves my brain.
Same. That's why I use a paper planner. And that's
Mhm.
what works for me.
You have to.
My brain will not hold on to that information.
Let's go back to this really quick.
Yeah.
In schools today,
Mm,
did you know? I didn't know this. I don't have children in school,
me either.
but I just recently found out there is no pen and paper.
What?
Isn't that insane?
So they're
It's
just doing stuff
all
digitally.
on computers now. It's all tablets, computers, laptops, all of it.
When I was in middle school and high school.
I'm not going to say all of it just
Well,
because,
yeah.
you know, I don't know every single school situation, but in my experience with the people that I know that have kids in school right
Yeah.
now, middle age and high school,
Yeah.
middle school and high school,
Yeah.
it's paperless.
That is so wild to me because middle school and high school, they used to give you planners in school that
Yes.
had like the
And you
school
were so
logo.
excited
Yes.
to get it, and the pencils
Yep.
and all the pens
I've
and
got,
the
like-
gel pens.
Yeah. I've got
Oh, the
boxes of those all
feeling
over the
it-
place.
Oh,
Yeah.
I loved that time.
Yeah.
And how did you ever memorize? Okay, do you remember like
Mm.
in preschool or in maybe even middle school where you would have to memorize something?
Yeah.
How would you do it?
Flashcards.
Repetition.
Yeah.
You write it down over
Yeah.
and over and over. And then you drill it into your head, right? By writing it down.
Yeah, like essays, math problems, like all of that stuff.
I can't even fathom the idea of
Yeah.
how do these kids have any proper education?
They never get to log off, you know?
They don't use their hand to mind coordination.
That's scary to me.
Like
That's
you're
scary to
not
me.
doing the thing anymore.
Yeah.
You're not writing anything.
Mhm.
Soon enough, these kids aren't going to know how to write their own names.
Well, think about during COVID, like when schools weren't in,
Well, that's
it
when
was
it
all
started.
on Zoom.
That's when it started.
Yeah,
really.
there was no paper,
Yep.
literally for no one.
Yeah.
Because you didn't go in anywhere.
Yeah, forget school books.
Yeah.
They're out.
I hate that because
I
I love
know.
physical media.
Dude, and this is I'm like I've contemplated going back to school.
Yeah.
You know, as an
Ugh.
adult,
Yeah.
just, you know, trying a new skill and I'm like, what would I do?
Yeah.
Everything's online.
Yeah.
And I hate the thought of
too.
that.
Yeah.
I want to be in the classroom
Physically. Yeah.
physically. I want
Yeah.
a whiteboard
Yeah.
or a chalkboard.
Yeah.
I want to hear that chalk.
Yeah.
I want the professor to be like face to face and I want to have
Yeah. Ditto.
yeah.
That's why it's so hard for me
Hello,
to.
conscious contact.
Yeah. Like that is the crux of human life. Like that's how you get community. That's how
Yeah.
you serve others.
Yep.
Is you have to be physically present with yourself and the rest of the world, not digitally.
Oh my gosh, they're programming kids
They are.
to be so
Mhm.
dissociated.
Yeah. And I mean, it comes from a helpful place. Like that's how everything starts.
I know.
It comes from this place of, oh, well, you've got like the
Mhm.
toddler with a tantrum and you're trying to have a nice dinner. Pull out the iPad.
Mm,
You know what I mean?
I think all parents, I'm
It's-
sure, are
It's
guilty of
sad,
this.
and I totally get it because I've seen
Yeah.
toddlers, and I can't even imagine raising a child.
I don't think until you really have a child do you really know, right?
Exactly. But I look at it from the outside and I go, how is that teaching that child to handle life in a good way?
Yeah.
That's telling them, hey, if you don't feel good, all you have to do is scream, and then you get the easy way out of that feeling.
Mm.
Instead of asking the child, you know what I mean? Like, I get it. They're a child, so they can't answer you fully. But instead of being like, how can I help you?
It's a
What's
shut up for
wrong?
now.
Yeah,
kind of thing, right?
it's this placating. It's not real soothing. They're never going to learn how to self-soothe.
Yeah.
They're never going to learn how to talk to themselves.
And they're going to become in their 30s and have to do years and years
Of therapy.
of therapy.
Yeah.
Not because of an iPad.
No, but because of the issues that creates. It like
Yeah.
sets them up to want the easy way out, to not have to think, to shut off their brain, to be
Yeah.
entertained mindlessly instead of
Yeah.
having to entertain themselves.
Yeah.
And that's really hard. And I get as a
Dude.
parent, it's hard to like serve another human being 24/7. But it's like, what is the real goal here? Is the goal here to have a uninterrupted dinner? Like, is that your ideal of life,
Mhm.
or is your goal to have a well-rounded child? You know what I mean?
But
Or
do
is it
you
to
think?
be there with your kid? Like, is
Yeah.
that the goal?
Yeah.
Or is the quiet dinner the goal? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not like I've seen temper tantrums. I've thrown temper tantrums as an adult.
Oh, me too.
For sure. Sometimes there's nothing else. Totally
Yeah.
get that. But if that's the knee-jerk reaction and I see you and your kid and I never see them without an iPad in their hand, like I
Mm.
never even see you talk to them other than here's your
Mhm.
juice or whatever, there's always a gray area.
Mm.
But what I normally see is either people that say no iPads, no TV ever, or people that raise them fully, like
Yeah.
iPad no matter what, anytime that they're being loud or restless or bored or whatever. I would love to see people realize that like there's a time and a place for it,
Yeah.
but there is also a time and a place for like being with your child and letting them be a kid
Right.
and throw a temper tantrum.
Why? Well, I mean, yeah, if the behavior is, if there's a shift in the mood, then you gotta understand why.
Yeah,
You
because you're
gotta
never
talk
gonna
to them
fix
and
it.
see why.
Yeah, they're gonna keep doing that.
Oh, yeah.
You're setting them up to know if I just scream loud enough, mommy's gonna give me the iPad.
Oh my gosh. I mean, it's the same
And then
with,
what happens when it dies?
yeah. Oh,
Have you
God
seen that
forbid.
happen?
God
Because
forbid.
holy shit. It's
World War
like
III.
yes, it is like a nuclear meltdown.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy fuck. What's
But
gonna
deep
happen when
down,
they're teenagers?
all they want
It's
a tamper-
attention.
It's attention.
They want their parents to care about them
They
and love
want you
them.
to hold them.
But they don't know how to articulate that,
Mhm.
and it's we again, like the parents have to have that inner self-talk and
Mhm.
the wherewithal to recognize that, which is so hard.
Oh
And
my
then you
gosh.
have to teach your kids how to do that, which
Yeah.
is even harder.
Dude, I will say both my sisters, my younger sister and older sister, have 3 kids
Yeah.
each. And I think they're saints.
Wow.
I mean,
Yeah.
they're such incredible moms.
They're aware. Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
You watch them parent
Mm.
their kids whenever they come visit and where I go visit there, and I listen and I observe
Yeah.
and I'm taking it in. I'm like, if
Yeah.
someday I have a kid,
Mhm.
guess what? If I don't know something,
You're
I'm
calling them.
calling you
Yeah.
because you handled it like a champ.
Yeah.
We're talking screaming matches.
Oh.
Like,
yeah. Because kids are crazy.
oh my gosh, if they don't get their way,
They're going to go ham.
screaming.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how my sister handled that and her
Mm.
husband as a team.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, wow,
yeah.
teamwork.
But again, like I think that's a great summarization of everything that we've been talking about. You have to get out of your own selfishness
Yeah.
to be able to witness that, to be able to know who you want to be, what you don't want to be, and then you have to take that into your self-talk
Girl,
and be able to put that into practice.
inner talk.
Yes. Well, I am so grateful that you came to do some outer talk with me. And I know that everybody's going to love this conversation.
Oh, thank you for having me.
I'm so glad that you came on because it is important, and I think more people need to pause and take that deep breath
Yes.
and
Do
just do that inner work, man. Yeah, it's hard, but it's so worth it.
I mean,
So worth it.
every damn day.
Well, thank you, and I hope to have
Thank
you on again
you.
soon.
Yes.